Okay, so what's up, tribe? So in this video, I'm going to show you a very simple day trading or scalping strategy that can make you consistent money. At least you can be averaging as much as $100 to $200 every single day using this strategy. It's very simple, it is consistent, and it follows the nature of the market, or the consistent pattern that the market normally follows every single day, right? So this is known as the uh, open range breakout strategy. Now, before I dive deep into this, shout out to Flowcharts. They did this illustration. But if you want a printable version of this uh, presentation, I would have that linked in the description. That is the one I created myself. So it has a white background. It's just going to give you, explain the strategy. It's more of like a playbook or something, right? A guideline. Okay, so uh, let's go straight into the more of like the history of o- open range breakout, or maybe where I got the strategy from and how credible this strategy is. Okay, so now if you search open range breakout, that is OB, you're going to see there have been books written about it, and this strategy is as ancient as anything. Books dating back as the 90s, 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. So there are books on Amazon that you can check, you can research, you can read about it. You can see this one. Let me show you here. All the oldest technical trading strategy that still works till date by Shankar Kulkarni. There are many books written about the open range breakouts, but this is just an example, right? Now, let me show you what makes this strategy credible. Now, there is a professional trader that I really respect. His name is Larry Williams, and Larry Williams is I mean, is a very, very interesting trader because he turned $10,000 to $1 million, right? So, Larry Williams is a beast, and he's a phenomenal. He's a great trader, right? And there was a video that Williams did where he was talking about the secrets of day trading, and here was where it made sense. The open range breakout made sense to me, right? Because these patterns have been consistent, and like Williams has have been in the game for a long period of time, so he sees this thing every single time. His friends, his buddies, they know about this, and so this is the data secrets of day trading, right? So this is how credible open range breakout is. So you can search Larry Williams and consume it. You can see I've consumed most of his contents. I prefer listening to guys like this than all these gurus out there. Okay, so now the video is just trying to explain to you, or he's trying to explain to you that when during the opening session, during the opening hours of a session, there's volatility, increased volatility, and during the afternoon's period, there's low volatility, and during the closing hours, increased volatility, right? So is more of like in a U shape like this, right? So that was what he was just trying to explain to you. We can watch the video to gain more clarity. So I don't want to go deep into that. Okay. So now let's go straight into the strategy. Let's see what open range breakout is. So the opening range, so the opening range breakout is a trading strategy that takes advantage of the increased volatility at the opening of a trading session. So at the early hours of a trading session, there is high volatility. There's high probability that volume and volatility is going to pick up during the early hours of the day, right? So that's how simple the strategy is. Now you can add your I mean, you can use other form of strategy or whatever, but just leveraging on this alone has really giving you an advantage, right? Okay. So now let's go to the chart. But before we go to chart, let me show you how to mark this thing out. Okay. So step one, when the market opens, wait for a certain period of time before marking out the high and low of that period. So what we do is we wait for 9:30 a.m. right? 9:30 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. This is 9:45 a.m. right here is 15 minutes, right? It's 15 minutes. So what you do is you mark the low of this 9:30 and then you mark the high of this 9:45. That is 15 minutes high and 15 minutes low. You understand? So that is just the first step. So let's go to the chart and mark this thing out. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go to trading view. Now, I use, first of all, before we mark the time, we need to know the time zone that we are using. So now, I use the New York session. Let me show you. So I use the New York session. Now, it is proven statistically that the London and the New York session have high volatility, right? Now, the Tokyo session and the Sydney session, which are the Asian session, there is no much volatility. I mean, you can see that once in a while, but statistically, London and New York session have high volatility. So I use the New York session, but if you can use the London session. This is just depend on your time zone, right? And the New York session starts at this area here. This is where the New York session starts for me, and that is also the ending of the London session, right? And that's the beginning of the New York session. So it's leveraging what? Volatility, the end of London session and the beginning of the New York session. So this is a very, very powerful strategy, right? It's consistent. You're going to make money um, um, when you use the system, right? Okay. So let's mark this out on our chart. Sorry. Okay. So now I'm using the New York session. So I'll click here. This is New York minus 4 UTC, right? New York. So we're going to mark the high and the low. So I'll go to the 15 minutes and I will locate the 9:30 period. Let's go for 9:30. Sorry, this is 9. Let me mark the 9:45 first of all, and I'll mark the 9:30. Don't know why it's very difficult. Okay, this is 9:30, right? And this is the opening of the session. Let's look at the opening of the session. Sorry. The session opened here. Okay. So the session opened here. We had a rally, and this is where we want to take our trade and the open range breakout. So if you zoom this, you will see that it's just basically 9:30 to 9:45 is just one candle because this is 15 minutes time frame. You can see 9:30, 9:45, one candle, right? Okay, now so to get an entry, we will have to go to the 5 minutes, right? So I'll go to the 5 minutes. Sorry. Okay, this is where we um, where we get our entry, right? Okay, so now let's go to the strategy book. Okay, so we've marked out the high of that period, right? Okay, so now let's mark the high and the low. So the high will be around here, if I'm not mistaken, and the low will be around here, right? Now, doing this manually might be, stressful for you. So I use an indicator. There are many indicators out there. So there's Open Range Breakout by ZZ Crypto 123, and then there's Open Range Breakout by Lost Algo. I use both of them, and you see the reason why I use them. I mean, you could pick any one that is your choice, but I prefer using the both of them. So I'll click on the first one. All right. Okay. So you can see the green and this red has been marked out, but it's not following this line here. It's our horizontal line that we marked out here. So we're going to come here and we're going to set this. So we'll put this to 15 minutes and we'll put this to 9:30 and change this to 9:45, right? And I'll just click OK. As you can see, this has been marked out, and it is just right on top of the line that we marked out, the low and the high, right? So now we can take out the horizontal lines that we marked out, right? Okay, so this will do it for you automatically. Now I have another indicator as well. The reason why I use indicator is because it divides uh, this range into half. That's the reason why I use indicator. This particular one is because it's well highlighted, green and red, so just to help my eyes. So I'm going to go to indicators again. I will come to Open Range Breakout by Lost Algo. All right, okay. Okay, now you can see it's not giving us what we want, so we're going to set this. We come here, click on settings. Now I'll change this to 15 minutes because we're using 15 minutes. Now I'm going to come down, put on custom time, 9:30, 9:45. The time zone that we are using the New York time zone, which is -4, if I'm not mistaken. All right, -4. Show breakouts, I'm going to switch this off. We don't need signals. Show targets, I'm going to switch this off. And I think we are done. That's just it. So click on OK. As you can see, that has been highlighted here. It has marked this. So to confirm that, you can see. Let me go to the other one. Okay, sorry, it's loading. I don't know, it's very slow. You can see. All right. Okay. Now same thing for this one. All right. Okay. So I use these two indicators, but you can use one if you choose, or if you prefer using one. Okay, so now we've marked it out. We've marked open range. So we need to go to the next step. Okay, so the next step is wait for a candle, right? Wait for a candle to close above or below the range and take a long or short entry. Right? So what we have to do is, when price breaks out of this, we're looking to buy. When price breaks down this range, we're looking to sell. That's how simple this strategy is. Okay, so let's see. Now, to get a better entry, we have to use the 5 minutes. Now, if you are using the 1 hour, the better entry would be the 15 minutes, right? So It just depends on you, your style of trading. There are people that use the 1 hour, use the 15 minutes, use the 5 minutes, or whatever, right? So all you just do is just leveraging volatility. That's all you can add whatever strategy or anything into this, and it will just make you money long term. Okay. So once price breaks this level, we're looking to buy. Once price breaks down this level, we are looking to, let me see. So once price breaks this level here, looking to buy, breaks this level here, we are looking to sell. It's as simple as that, right? Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is let's go back to the PDF. So what's the next thing? So long trade example. So what is it says here? Sorry, it says here mark. It says here mark out the high and low range, which we've done. Wait for candle to close above the high of the range. Take a 1:2 risk to reward long entry. Right? That's just the rules. You can apply anything. You can make adjustments. It just depends on you. And so let's mark this thing out on our chart. Okay. So long entry. Now, immediate price broke this level. So what we're looking to do is to enter here and put our stop loss maybe below the range or middle of the range, right? So you just have to do a back test to know which one works best for you. Are you going to be putting your stop loss at the middle of the range, or are you going to put it below the range? And what is like the volume of the candle? Is the candle very, very small? Is the range very high? So these are things you need to do your back test, right? On. So let's see, we target 1:2, right? And we go 1:2, just like that. It's crazy, really amazing. There are multiple ways you could manage your trade entry and manage your stop loss and all of that, right? So I'm going to show you the one which I do personally that works best for me. Okay, so let's go back. Let's see if we have anything else the PDF is trying to tell us. Okay, so let me go down. Short trade example, same thing. Mark out the high, wait for the candle, take a 1:2 or 1:1. Right, and yeah, let's see. Okay, now this is open range breakout risk management. 1:1, 1:1.5, 1:1:2. If you watch closely, we said set your stop loss at the high or low of the range, at the high or the low of the range, and take a 1:1 risk to reward trade. Set your stop loss at the 50% threshold or the middle of the range, which I normally do, right? And I've showed you, and take 1:1 risk to reward trade. Set a stop loss below the high or above the low of the range and take a 1:2 risk to reward. So you just have to play around this and do a back test. And please make this very, very mechanical and systematic. Don't try to use discretion. Try to go for what works best for you, right? Okay. So that is just pretty much that. I'm going to show you how sorry, I'm going to show you how I use proper risk management with this strategy. So you can see we've gotten this one, gotten this trade. You can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to take one more trade for the day. So price came here and then it range on the line, and then it broke this. You can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to enter maybe here, maybe at the break of this high. You can say maybe at the break of this high. Okay, so let's say it was here, right? and then you put your stop loss maybe below the half uh, the slice of this range below that, and then maybe you could target, a 1:1, right? Right, 1:1. Some people could put their stop loss here at this range here. It just depends on you on what works best for you. Now, what I normally do is that I trail my stop. So once I get 1:1, I just take my stop loss to, like, break even, right? And I trail my stop using uh, ATR, that is average true range. You could search that on YouTube and you get that. Now let me show you how powerful this strategy is. So let's go to the next day. You can see the next day we made money. Let's stop loss is here, and let's say we target 1:1. So you can see we made 1:1 right here, and you could, maybe once you make 1:1, you could move your stop loss to break even. So once you move 1:1, your stop loss to break even here. One stopped out. Once the market made a higher high, look at that, look at that. You could just be trailing your stop, and it's really crazy, and you could just be entering on these pullbacks. Once price came down here, rallied up, and this is where you most likely going to get stopped out, right? And where you got stopped out, you made look at that, you made 1:2 for that day, right? And this is just the second trade, right? Now let's go to the next one. uh you can see the next day, or the previous day, sorry. Look at this, 1:1 again. You can increase this to 1:2. Let's see if we got 1:2. Okay, we go 1:1. When price got to this level, we started rallying down, started going down, sorry. So you could just play around this. If you put your stop loss at this range, yes, you have the potential of making 1:2 or whatever, but you're most likely going to get stopped out because price will come here and make a retest, and then stop you out, and then starts rallying. But if your stop loss was here, I mean, it's crazy. You made 1:1 on this single trade. So 3 days in a row we've made money, right? So this is very, very, very powerful. Now look at this one. Now there are things you need. There are some filters you need to add to this. Now I'm not going to be longing this market because the overall trend from the previous day was just downtrend, right? And you can add other things, extra confluences and a lot of filtrations, just to get a good open range breakout entry. Now, I will not be going for a long, but somebody can go for a long. Let's say you went for a long, maybe you didn't do any analysis, you went for a long, you target here, and then you say, okay, you know what, I want my take profit to be at this swing, right? Now you go stopped out, but guess what? If you continue for the day and you follow let's say, the bias, the directional bias was to sell that day, because look at this. Why will you be shorting a market that is already going down? This market is already going down, right? So why will you be longing? Sorry, why will you be longing a market that's already going down? So the right thing to do is to just short it, right? Wait for market to break this range and just short the market. And you can see we went for, you could leave this trade longer, but if you decide to make it 1:1, you go to 1:1. If you decide to, trade your stop, maybe once you make 1:1, you could, like, put your stop loss to break even. Sorry, put your stop loss to break even here. And then once it made 1:1, and it broke, you can see this little pullback it made here. You could say, okay, once it broke it, I'm going to put my stop loss, my take profit here, and you could just be trailing your stop, and you're most likely going to get stopped out maybe somewhere here when the market reversed here, right? And guess what? For that day, uh you made 1:4. It's mind blowing. I know this is hindsight, but this strategy is very, very powerful. You can use this strategy. Look at this one. This is come on, like this strategy just works. Like, look at this. Market is already going down. You simply just, you know, trade the direction of the market. It's as simple as that. Just trade, put your stop loss above the range, and just target 1:1. You're done for the day. You could put your stop loss here, but the market might most likely go and retest the half of this range and go down. But to be more conservative, you can just put your stop loss above the range, and you go to 1:1. Look at this beautiful one here. I mean, this is like 6 7 days, and we've just been consistently making money. Look at this. Price broke, put our stop loss here, and we target 1:1, right? We target 1:1, and you're done for the day. You could most likely trade your stop if you want, if that is your type of trading. But I think I prefer trading my stop. I mean, you could just go on and on and on and on, and it's a very powerful strategy because it leverages the volatility, increased volatility of that particular session, right? The early morning hours, or the early hours of a particular session. So that has been proven to work consistently. It gives you high probability trades. So you can add your Fibonacci, you can add your ICT zone, your Elliott wave, or whatever. You can add anything to this, right? You can add any indicator, whatever, and it's a very powerful strategy. I think this strategy works, and you're going to make crazy amount of money. So if you like this video, subscribe, like the video, comment, and tell me what you want to know about this strategy. The printed version of the PDF, which is in white background, is in the description. You can join our free Telegram. I share insights. If you're looking for mentorship or anything, you can message me on Telegram, and I would guide you. There are more strategies which are very, very powerful, but this is one that I really, 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 really love. It's very simple. You're not doing any fancy lines. You're just trading breakouts. It's really mind blowing. It's really powerful. So that's pretty much it. You can see we had almost 6 to 7 wins for the day. I mean, look at this one. Um, Price broke this level. Let's see this. Sorry. Price broke. Stop loss here. I mean, this is already going on already at the moment. So we don't know what's going to happen yet. But yeah. So and I believe it's going to work out because I mean the market is already trending down. So let's see how it goes though. So that's just it for this video. So subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.